Why?
Go for it.
Hello, you're listening to Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we'll be discussing Season 4, Episode 4, Less Than Hero. My name is Michelle Burlingame, and with me are Tommy Roulette, Pete Woodward,
That's me.
and joining us is two-timer, now a three-peat, John Kalman.
Ooh, I feel fancy.
You should. You've joined an elite crew.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Season 4 has been the season of the three-peat.
Yes.
I think Sarah Eisenhardt's a three-peat now.
Good
You're a
for her.
three-peat.
Bill Squire's been a three-peat.
Bill Squire was a three-peat before he became a guest host. So, just so you know,
Ooh, so
that
that's
could be in the
confusing
future.
now.
It's a whole
Those
thing.
didn't count as appearances, so.
Yeah, they're
Then
different
They're
categories.
not canon.
The fourth appearance, we measure you for your fifth appearance jacket.
Oh, okay, good.
And then on the fifth appearance, we don't give you a
Yeah.
jacket.
You guys just wanted to touch me.
Yes.
And I want to know your
understandable.
measurements.
Why do you need my inseam for a jacket?
Well, we don't need it for the jacket as such.
But I mean,
And if you notice, I'm not even using a tape measure or anything. It's
just
like,
holding me.
It's
Okay,
it's that
got
bubble
it.
gum, that roll bubble gum,
Like,
and I just slowly eat up.
Eat it away. Yeah.
I have some fruit
sounds
by the
great.
foot in the other room if you want to give it a spin.
You guys did this to Sarah Eisenhardt, you're saying?
No,
Oh,
no,
she
she's
wouldn't
only
suffer
been
this
three.
kind of
Oh,
nonsense.
only
so
been
she's
three.
not coming back then?
We'll see. She's a
She
nice
doesn't know
gal.
how the measuring process goes
Okay.
yet, so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this because a lot of podcasts seem to start out with weather notes. It is awfully warm today after a week of gorgeous, glorious fall weather.
It's unseasonably warm.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
No.
I've sweated
sweat a
too
lot.
much today.
Yeah, it's not cool.
This is how people get sick.
Yeah,
This
that's
is why I
that's
get
why your
sick
throat
like
hurts,
every
Tom.
year.
This is climate change right here.
Yeah.
In my lungs.
It's just, and my air conditioner is. They basically said if you don't have to run it, don't. They're gonna fix it, but
Didn't
I
you
don't
just
know
get
when.
it?
well, it
Didn't
turns
we get
out
it
that
replaced?
it turns out there's a piece of it that was defective from the manufacturer, so it's under warranty. I don't have to pay. I just have to wait. And you'd think it's October now. Why would I need an air conditioner? I need an air conditioner. It's fucking Ohio, and it's 80 degrees out this week.
Yeah, I turned mine back on today.
Straight up bullshit.
I wanted to, but I held out.
I can't. I could not. It was way too warm and stuffy.
Yes.
That's how
Mhm.
it gets, and then I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel like everything's closing in on you, man. Like if you were under a giant big dog pile of fat guys, like what was going on.
Or a
the
dog pile of
Jumbotron.
real dogs, because that's how kind of it is.
Is that what it was? Oh, at your house. I just
Yeah.
meant on the Jumbotron this week.
Oh,
It's like a dog pile of fat guys all of a sudden, and it was in color. It's one of the rare.
the Dover Boys,
It's called the Dover Boys.
1942.
doving.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
is that?
Did you look it
It's
up?
a 40s Warner Brothers cartoon.
Sure,
Couldn't
but
really find much.
what is a Dover boy? Like,
A boy who dives.
That's Diver.
Diver down.
Dover? Dover?
the Dover Boys at Pimento University are the rivals of Rockford Hall. It's a Merry Melodies cartoon, so it's.
Mm.
It just, I don't. It just seems like a dumb name. Like, was it their last name Dover?
Yes. Probably
Okay.
yes.
That's
Yeah,
all.
that's what I
needed.
would think.
I can stop talking about it now.
It is kind of
Um,
an odd choice for a title for something, I guess.
I'm sure it's a reference to something that we don't get because we're not in 1942.
Yeah,
Maybe.
That's fair.
I was thinking about this yesterday.
World War II is about to be going on, and
World
Just-
War II was going
Is
on.
going
We
on.
were just
well,
being
we were
shitty and tardy.
about to be involved.
We were about
in
to
it.
show up.
Yeah, I
That's-
thought we didn't get involved till like 44.
No, it was. I think even
I thought it
later
was-
than that.
I was thinking about this yesterday because we've been plagued with a rash of like celebrity deaths and some really beloved people too. Like, unfortunately, this week Tom Petty passed away and then didn't and then did, which was a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't online a whole lot yesterday.
Well-
That would have been confusing.
yeah, but the thing that was sort of rattling around in my skull was like, You know how in like the 40s, or really up until the 80s, you had like the
We all remember the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you had like the 3 networks. Like there was basically your options for entertainment were much smaller and much bigger in that everybody, if you wanted to go to a movie, you had like the choice of 5 movies and that was it. So there was only so many stars or whatever. And what's happened...
But there were a lot of magazines, though.
Yeah, but they all covered the same people. What I'm getting
Fair.
at is like... Now that we have modernish medicine that allows people to live very long, as well as this ubiquitous media presence that covers everything all the time, like, I think this is just going to get worse and worse. Like, you're going to reach this critical mass of dead celebrities because, you know, Hugh Hefner died, then Monty Hall died. Well, those guys are like in their 90s. We're also seeing people for like Grant Hart from Who's Your Do and Tom Petty, and they were in their 50s and 60s. So you have all of these oldies that are still around. And then you've got younger people who could, you know, die from natural causes at a relatively old age, although they still seem young. I think it's just going to keep having like what started in 2016 with Prince and David Bowie and all that stuff. It's just going to, like, what are we going to do when Billy West dies?
It's because we're older.
Yeah.
What are we
going
gonna
to
do?
Happens.
When Scott Baio dies?
We're going to do the same thing our
Is he still
parents
alive?
did when they had...
He's dead to me.
I don't know who died. That was...
Sinatra.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
What are we going to do when Henry Winkler dies?
Ooh,
Oh, that'll be rough.
That's going to be like a Phil Hartman-esque like
You know what?
hole in our hearts.
Really, I thought it was like,
Ayy.
even though like I'm even younger than that should be, but Adam West, that was like a thing. I was like, what's gonna happen when Adam West
Oh shit,
dies?
he just
He
died.
did
Yeah,
die. Yeah.
like
So what happened?
That's the other thing. You just
Everybody got
forget
real
about it.
sad.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
like-
we got real
for-
sad.
And then forgot about it
And
because then 4 more people died. It's.
So you're saying that everything it's just going to get like
I think
Over-
like because
overlooked
the
or
media
something?
is because of the 24-hour news cycle and because there are so many potentially dead celebrities around now.
potentially dead.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, like older people who maybe don't seem as old.
Right.
You know, I mean, like Tom Petty was almost 70 years old. You wouldn't think it because he's a rock and roll guy and he's still got
he was
like
in his
sand
mid
66, man.
60s,
That's-
late 60s. He was 66.
66.
60?
I'm rounding up.
44, or I'm sorry, 64, 65, 66, mid 60s, 67, 68, 69, late 60s.
I round on the 5s, Tom.
That is sad.
Highly inaccurate.
Hmm.
Rounding on the 5s.
Well, it's all about
There is early,
margin of
mid,
error.
and late. You got to break it down into thirds.
You can't divide 10 by 3.
It doesn't matter. It works out. You don't use the
Because if you're 70, you say you're 70. You don't say you're in your 70s.
right.
Yeah, you do. You better.
No, you would just say I'm 70. But if you were 71,
You
72,
can be 70 and also in your 70s. You have crossed the threshold of 70. You are therefore in your 70s.
Yeah, but you don't describe yourself as being in your. I mean, I haven't,
If you're
I haven't been
70,
in
you
my
don't say you're in your
70s.
60s.
You don't say you're mid 70s. If you're 71, though.
you
No, I wouldn't say he was in his mid 70s either
don't-
if he was
you don't-
71.
don't get
If he was
zero.
76, I'd say he was in his late 70s.
Yeah, that's wrong.
I think
That's
if,
mid.
listen, I think if anything, the older you get, the more of a case there is to round up at the 5s. Because everything's a fucking crapshoot at that
How old
point.
do you think Leela's parents are?
The Tarangas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to reverse engineer this because as we learned a couple episodes ago, Leela's only in her late 20s, which is still, that doesn't jive with me. I would say that Morris and what's her mother's name?
Munda.
Munda.
55. That's my guess.
55 to 60, late 50s.
Okay.
Which still actually puts them at a very young age for having had Leela if she's in her mid 20s. That's the other part that like
30.
freaks me out. Yeah, I still think of that as young to have kids, even though my parents were like done having them by then.
Yeah, I think my mom was done with us by then.
My mom was 22 when I was born, so she's really young.
Mine was
Yeah.
23, I think.
My mom was like 26. My dad was 31 when I was born. And then
You know what? Just as a thought experiment, am I closer to your age or to your mother's age?
Not sure exactly how old you are, but I think you might be a little bit closer to my mom's age.
I think so too.
She's 51.
Yeah, yeah. I'm closer to your mom's age than yours. That's troubling for a number of reasons. But that's like I have friends that are grandparents now, and it all makes sense mathematically. It's fucked up.
It's a weird time, man. Fucking weird.
It is. That was a nice side jag, huh? Have they called SewerCom before?
No.
I don't think so. And I was trying to figure out what that joke was actually. If it's just, like,
Skycom?
Reach out and touch the sewers.
Skycom? Is
Yeah,
it? What,
I don't know
is
what the-
Skycom.
I'm going to look it up right now.
What I liked was when you have to call a dreaded phone tree for anything now, and thank God you don't have to.
I don't. And I do.
Yeah, like when you do, it's just the worst. But like when they do drop in like the pre-recorded things, because they'll have the speech like, your call will be handled in 15 minutes. And they did that with Morbo, but it was just like, your call is being connected. Like, what else would it be? Was it going to be disconnected? Or like what? That made me laugh so much.
Maybe
because it was-
forwarded?
I don't know. Just
Flagged for review?
just dropping it in with the Morbo voice was
Yeah.
it was
Morbo's
lovely.
voice is great.
It's pretty good. But
It's communication via satellite, like
They don't try
phone
doing it
calls
anymore.
and stuff. It's
It's
still
probably all internet now.
in 2015. They launched WinFleet 10 and an app, WinFleet
We all know how
Mobile.
well that went.
well, you don't live in a third world nation.
In 2014, it
So it's-
celebrated its 20th anniversary.
So
Yeah.
just like a satellite phone company. Basically, you can call
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, that's like how
In the
car
middle of
phones
nowhere.
were. That's how they originally
Back-
were.
way back in the
car
day.
phones.
Yeah.
I remember car phones.
But like this would be if you're in like Africa in the middle of nowhere and you have a satellite phone, you can still ping up and get somebody. I think like those WinFleet things are actually like, I don't know if it was Google or the Gates Foundation or what, but they were deploying like weather balloons with Wi-Fi routers out in like Africa so they could create like a network of Wi-Fi that people could access from.
That's pretty cool.
It was some pretty cool shit. I don't know what the status
Plus
of it is. but-
balloons are cool.
Right. And if they crash, you can create a whole mythology around, flying saucers and things, unless they're really flying saucers.
Or you can make a sweet album cover.
With what?
Burning balloon.
What album cover is that?
Wasn't that Zeppelin one?
I thought that
Yeah.
was
Was
a
it Zeppelin? A
Oh,
balloon?
is that
Yeah.
the Hindenburg?
Yeah.
It's like a
That's-
balloon.
Oh,
It's an
the
airship.
humanity.
It's an airship. Fair.
There's helium involved in it.
Well, there wasn't in that one because
Not in
helium's
that
inert. That would have been hydrogen.
Yeah, that would have been a smart idea.
We're not talking about Archer, though. We're talking about Futurama.
So
A rigid airship.
is
Okay, sorry.
Leela is apparently in regular contact with her parents now. Like I didn't expect that to be an outcome. of
Define
her
regular contact.
She's calling them like over on SewerCom to like, hey, it's my weekly call. Scheduling a visit for them to come up.
Did she say my weekly call?
I don't know if she said weekly, but she'd been in contact with them enough to where they had planned a visit and they were discussing the visit because the visit was going to happen.
Well, I think she's super happy she found who her parents were.
Yeah.
So
That's weird.
wouldn't you want to talk to your parents all the time?
I
If
don't
you've
know.
just found out who they were?
I mean, they seem a little needy.
Well, you know your parents. You've known your parents since you were little. Like,
I think that's part of their characters, though. Also, is the guilt sort of like,
Sort of the
oh well,
martyr.
well, don't worry about us. Blah
Oh,
blah.
okay.
blah.
Yeah,
That's
I
sort of
I
their-
get it.
she wants to relive her life with parents. You'll see that as it comes and goes.
So the
like,
It'll
the
happen.
Tarangas become a regular presence in the show. Is that
Define regular.
Repeat
Oh.
appearances.
recurring. They're recurring.
Yeah.
once right after I wake up?
I like that their cat had a lizard tail. Even the cat was mutated.
I didn't see that really.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Maybe it was a lizard with a cat body.
Oh.
I didn't realize her
Ooh.
mother had a little donkey tail too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I,
was
I noticed that for the first time today as well. Well,
Which was it?
this episode.
A donkey or a lion?
I think it was a lion tail. It was like
The
it
little
had that little
tuft?
puff at the yeah.
I thought it was kangaroo tail.
No, that's much
No,
thicker.
those kangaroo tails
Mm.
are like a
Huge.
hairy snake.
There's more
Oh,
girth
it's like a
to
slug.
Yeah,
to a kangaroo tail.
Much more girthy.
exactly. More conical. Conical.
Kind of Jabba the Hutt-y.
exactly like
Yeah,
Jabba the
yeah,
Hutt,
yeah,
but with
exactly.
but with hair,
Mm.
and they can kind of flop it around like when they're
And
boxing.
some of those kangaroos have like giant muscles, and they just
They're
lounge
creepy
around.
And
in,
boxing
like-
gloves. There's some good stuff right at the beginning where she says, "Guess who I just got off the video phone with?" And the professor goes, "No."
No.
I love his exclamations. He's just,
So cranky.
I know. I relate to that.
He was really cranky in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His super collider blew up.
It's super exploded.
Yeah.
Super collider that
I-
you got from the IKEA place.
IKEA.
IKEA.
IKEA. Oh,
Now, how do you feel about IKEA jokes? I felt like that whole thing was kind of hacky and dumb, even
for
though it's 20 years old.
1990, whatever.
2004.
whatever. 2004, really? Man.
Was it 2004?
What?
Original air date?
This?
Yeah.
2003.
3.
I mean, over
March,
the
yeah,
years,
March 2nd, 2003.
No, I feel like IKEA was still generally new-ish and
In the
ripe for
States.
jokes at that point.
I just,
Regionally, maybe.
I feel like,
I don't even remember when I heard of IKEA. Like, it was like
I think it was
2009, 10 maybe is when I like.
I've been shopping there since the 90s.
Yeah, I was just say, like,
also, as
2000-ish
established,
probably
I'm
for me.
old. But
You probably were there like 4 years before me, basically.
Yeah, but I don't ever remember purchasing anything. First of all, never purchased anything from them where I'm like, oh shit, I'm missing a bunch of pieces. That like ready to assemble stuff you get at Target or Walmart or whatever. That's a crapshoot. But like,
yeah, you're missing a lot.
IKEA is generally good about that. The other thing, like,
It's pretty solid, too.
well, the instructions are not difficult.
They're not difficult. I
yeah.
do not think they're
It's
difficult.
it's
difficult
solid
if
if
you're
you're
an
good
idiot.
at if you're good
Yeah.
at building things, it's fine. I think that's the problem is that people buy all this shit you have to put together yourself, and then they're dumbasses that
They
can't
think
build
it's so
furniture.
it'll be so easy, and then they have no idea how
Yeah.
to do things. Like you're like, how do you get dressed in the morning, sort of stuff.
Exactly. That whole TV stand in there, you can see it, John.
It's a good-looking TV stand.
Straight out of IKEA.
I would do stuff to that.
That chair, that couch over there. I mean, honestly, the biggest pain in the ass to put together in that room was the couch, and that's because I had to iron all the covers and then like stretch them to get them to stick. But
Yeah, I mean, I had one of those record shelves from there that was great.
Mhm.
yeah,
Those are good. yes.
everybody
Was
loves
it the
those.
Calyx or something like that?
Really nice. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I see what you're saying. I don't understand the joke, but
I understand it. I just think I don't know. It's sort of like
Maybe it's-
airplane feud. It's pretty awful, right?
it might just maybe IKEA has gotten better as the years have gone on. But I mean, I guess if you've been shopping there since the 90s, you would know better than.
I mean, it's possible because I think they're a pretty forward-thinking company. I think I had to do some research on them at one point. I was pretty
Maybe
impressed.
around that time there was some model that they had that turned out to be a
Like
little
spontaneously combusted or something.
yeah.
It's entirely possible.
Those
I bet
Swedes
you if
sure
you
know how to put in
Googled
almost everything.
IKEA disasters.
I mean, they were serving, weren't they serving horse meat?
Yeah, but isn't that normal?
It's
yeah,
normal
that's
in
normal
Europe.
in Europe,
Oh, yeah, that's
especially
right,
in
yeah.
Sweden.
For
And
the
was-
meatballs,
Yeah. What about that monkey that
Which
was there?
monkey?
monkeys were serving horses.
No, the monkey that was
The
left
monkey
in
was
IKEA.
the monkey was on Friends.
There was a monkey that lived in an IKEA.
No, it was left at an IKEA. You had that coat on, and there was memes
Oh,
about it.
yeah. Okay.
What's happening?
I'll have to show you
It's a
later.
monkey with
Okay,
a
I'm
winter
excited
coat.
about this.
It's-
Can we
it's
just stop this
adorable.
podcast?
and just go look at monkey videos. I'm game. The one part is a quick little line where Lee was talking about going to get the mutant day passes for her parents, and then she's like, "Does anybody need me to pick up anything at City Hall?" And Hermes is like, "Can you get me a license to kill?" And then there's like multiple layers to it, like what was it? Small arms or bare hands?
It was it was weapons or bare hands.
Oh, what does
It's like,
piano
what
wire
does a
count
piano
as?
wire-
What does piano wire count as?
I would think
a
it,
weapon.
yeah, definitely.
it
a
would have
weapon.
to be.
Yeah,
If you
because
baked
you're
it in a cake, you'd get in trouble.
and plus you would not be using your bare hands probably with a piano wire because as you're pulling, that's gonna just tear
Unless-
into your skin.
Unless you
yeah,
have it
it'd be
set up
way
like a garage.
easier. It'd be way easier if we were one of those clay cutters for slicing through clay because they have the little pieces of wood on. I'm not that I've thought about doing this or anything. I'm just saying it's way more.
You're very
effective.
quick to it.
It's really effective, you guys.
I mean, you can wrap some duct tape and some foam around the ends. Then you get some pull. You don't bruise your fingers.
Wait, we skipped over the Mauled by Jesus line?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
It happened right after the Swedes put almost everything you need into
Got
the
really
IKEA
excited.
box.
Oh, that's why I wrote it down right after the Swedes know how to put in almost everything you need.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back in.
Yeah, I hope we all have that that in our notes because that was.
Wait, what was the line before it?
Oh shit!
Because it was like
Well, there was
it was a line that was almost like
It was
laugh out
It was
loudy
a
enough.
Bender line, and because they show Fry looking at the instructions, and he says, "These are the tools that you'll need," and it's a hammer, and then a screwdriver, and then Bender. Like Bender was on the instructions, and Bender says something like, "It sure does feel good working with one's own hands,"
His
and then
hand
he
turns
just
into a
hands,
circle
yeah.
saw or whatever.
Spins around. Yeah, the cartoon logic. After Bill Squire explained it all to me, the cartoon logic is bothering me less and less.
That's all it took.
Maybe 52 episodes and a new host, and all of a sudden it's fine.
All right, let's start over.
But so this gets into like the A plot of the story, I guess, with the miracle cream. I loved the whole misdirect where Zoidberg buys the miracle cream, Dr. Flim Flam's
Dr. Flim
miracle
Flams.
cream
Ugh.
from like a traveling circus sideshow quack.
60 of my dollars.
and
we
it
have a
works.
deal?
But why didn't Zoidberg test it to see if it works? It just didn't work on him.
It worked. It gave human superpowers
But Leela's
sometimes.
Leela's not a human.
She's human. She's mutated.
Yeah,
Mutated
she's
human.
a mutant.
She's
so
not an
she is
alien.
human,
She's
yeah.
a human. She's just mutated.
Okay, I don't understand.
Which
all
is
these
why
distinctions.
so that's what I was thinking. She's allowed on the surface because everyone's just pretending she's an alien still.
No one
basically.
knows that she's an
Oh yeah,
alien.
because they reference it later.
And
in
she's
other
the least
shows.
mutated
Okay.
mutant ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No one questioned. And they do. She actually admits it to people in a later episode, and then that's what happens later.
But I wish I could get my hands on some Dr. Flim Flam miracle cream.
I love the line. Wow, a superpowers cream you can rub right into your skin. You think you'd have to freebase something like that? That is one of the best. I think that's the best line in the episode.
I would agree.
By leaps and bounds.
I mean,
And then also the cap is out of it. It's completely out of itself. That part.
Yeah.
I love that.
maybe there's some caked in there.
There could be like a gold mine.
What is?
Sorry, we're jumping all over.
There's a bad news, everybody, from the professor.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that the first time he's done that one?
I
He
think
said good
that
news
might be-
anyone when the super
Oh, the
collider
first time,
showed
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Then when it super exploded, he said bad news no one.
I think that is the first time he's said
Changed it up.
Yeah.
something other than good news.
But then he tells him to exchange it for a wobbly CD rack and rancid meatballs.
See, because the wobbly CD rack part makes sense, right?
Sure.
I think all CD racks were wobbly.
Yeah.
Well, especially the tower ones where you had like 100 CDs on top of each other, and you tried to tape one of those double discs out, and it would just
The double disc always mess everything up.
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, stupid Doors double best hits, whatever thing.
I mean, going back to the whole IKEA thing,
I think I own 3 Doors double disc sets.
they only made like 3 albums.
I know.
Yeah, and they're
I
all
think it's
on the
pretty
double
much
disc.
everything.
Oh.
It's like everything except like 3 songs where they weren't sure what he was saying, so they couldn't transcribe it. So like, screw it. We're not talking
I think the reputation for their furniture being wobbly is it's fine if you build it and leave it alone. If you try and move it from
Try and
place to
use
place
it
to
at all.
place, well, it's like
Screwed.
furniture is supposed to be stationary, basically. So if you try to start moving things,
Like when you move from an apartment to another apartment.
yeah, that's when it starts to break down. 'cause
Like
that's-
this.
Yeah. When those springs snap,
All your
gonna hit
and,
me
like,
in the
it's gonna hit him
eye.
in the eye. Tom's gonna go blind. There's gonna be blood everywhere. I'm gonna laugh.
Does anybody ever use the safety strap portion of the IKEA thing
I never did. You know when I started to?
when you had a kid?
Hurt
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What's the safety strap thing?
And there's usually for
for
a
tall
TV, like to hold
stuff or something.
like to hold it against the wall so it doesn't
Okay.
tip over. I've never used one of those.
And there's no reason you should. really. I mean,
I use the back thing for the TV to
You have cats,
drill
don't
it
you?
down.
Isn't
So
that like a thing cats fuck with?
Yeah.
Like,
If-
make
you know,
that's
they-
why I
over.
drill my TV and make sure that it's stable. So
they
can't knock
deserve
that
to
over.
die if it falls over on
But
them.
they
That's
break your
fine.
TV.
It's gonna
is the
break,
point.
and then
Oh, see, this one's on. It's a double stand. Like I don't think whatever. Fuck these cats. If they break the TV, I'll break them.
Ha.
you know what I didn't like?
The mugger with the sham story.
Yes, because I didn't like
Ugh.
the fact that
There's
he
no
pulled out
bus to
a
Jersey
a
City.
robot?
A cute
robot,
little
to
robot.
shoot.
Andrew.
I didn't really
Andrew.
understand that. Was that just
I don't know. I thought
level
the
of
robot
absurdity.
part was hilarious, but I didn't like his story because I've heard that story before.
Yeah.
That really
Yeah.
hit home.
Yeah, it was rough.
I gotta get to Buffalo. It's my car ran out of gas in Erie, and I
I-
walked here.
It's like I didn't even care about the first part of this. I don't care about it wherever you're going with it. Don't tell me
No,
these things.
it's. I mean, do you ever get? I imagine in your line of work or one of your lines of work, because you're a man about town, John.
Real Renaissance. man.
Yeah, but up in the Coventry area, you probably hear a lot of stories like this of some frequency.
Oh,
But maybe
there's
some regularity.
One guy, there's one guy that has been telling me the same story for 14 years. And
Yeah.
I'm like, every time he starts, I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I gave you my cheese sticks once and you cried, and now you're telling me the same story that you were crying about 14 years ago, and I wanted those damn cheese sticks. Like, I was hungry and I gave you my food because of your story, and then I felt like an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awful.
I
Because then I
just,
see people giving him money, and I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Those dudes probably make more money than I do.
it's a.
I don't make a lot of money, so that's not. A
I
stretch.
mean, that's entirely possible. I feel like there's a. Like, I feel bad for people who are genuinely in that kind of state where it's
yeah, and I've
but at the
definitely
same
given
time,
20
I
bucks.
feel
for a dude
insulted
before.
that you don't think I understand that you're feeding me a line of bullshit.
That's the thing.
It's like it's really
Do you
it-
think that people like us are better at putting together IKEA furniture?
maybe.
Because we're like, I don't think this.
Yeah,
guy's
this
really on the
guy.
level.
No,
Not
I
on
know where
the
this
level.
hex wrench
Oh,
goes.
I've heard this.
And this guy is definitely not from Buffalo.
I've been to Buffalo. You are no.
You
Buffalo,
don't smell
sir.
like a Buffalonian.
Buffalonian. Is that really how you? Is that what they're called? Buffalonian? Because that's awesome.
I think so. Then they subdivide into like other suburbs and stuff. Like I've got a bunch of friends that are Freetonians, which sounds like a crazy cult, but it's just a little city outside.
It sounds like it'd be
Buffalo.
on The Simpsons.
Yeah, it might have been at some point.
Hmm.
I like Buffalander. Buffalander.
Bufflander.
Buffalander.
Buffalander.
No, it doesn't work.
Just
Damn it.
keep going until you get it right.
Buffalo.
Buffalopagus.
Buffaloader.
a-
Buffalopagus is good.
Buffalonia. Wait, we already kind of did that one.
To abruptly stop and
Buffalo-Rican?
turn on a dime. What's the proper term for a person from Columbus?
Columbia. Colombian?
Colombian. I don't know. It's I grew up there and I don't know.
Columbisan.
From
We both lived there, John. And
I think
no
they
one
just
ever
call
asked
it-
me that
I
before.
think it's just Central Ohio.
Savage killer.
Syphilitic patient 0.
Franklin County ish.
It's
I-
coming out the week of Columbus Day too, I think.
Yeah, it is.
No,
Nope.
one more. Wait, no, it is.
No, it's this weekend.
yeah, it is.
Go buy your appliances now, or your mattresses. It's one of them. I
I need a small box blanket.
did. What was There's a line where Price it says it to the mugger. I can take off my pants and give you those.
I'm too nervous to find my pockets.
And then, like, I got super surprised at them having powers. Like, I literally didn't put together that it was the Flim Flam cream. Like, so that was a nice surprise.
So that cream went a long way if you think about it. It seems
It
like they got
really
a lot
did.
done on one bottle of cream.
For sure. Because
Like-
there was 2 of them using it.
Yeah, and it looked like they were putting it on like quite a bit at a time.
I mean,
Yeah,
It
how
seemed
much
like-
did you have to rub into you to get it?
if you
like-
rub more in, do you get higher? I mean, better at drugs, or I mean, solving crime, or
Maybe, I mean, to be fair, they could have been invisible rings that they didn't know they had on because they also couldn't feel them. That could have been
That
part
line
of the
too.
power.
I liked the when they were testing what superpowers they had,
yeah.
like super speediness. And then the last one was power over
Sea
was
life.
it sea creatures. And then they go, "Hey, Zoidberg, get in here." And he
Screw
goes,
you.
"Screw you."
Ain't got that. Nope.
Ain't got that one.
Oh, that's great.
I love that we're superpowers and we have superpowers and,
And
we're
we're
American. Like there's nothing.
Wait,
that
I
can
feel
stop
like
us.
wouldn't Zoidberg have normally been really excited that someone called him? Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
normally, yes.
Oh, good catch.
so
It's
maybe
continuity issues.
maybe the
already.
cream makes sea creatures not like them
I mean,
because there's adverse reactions probably.
I feel like Zoidberg would have just been excited that one of his treatments didn't kill someone.
Or just that someone wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
That's
don't-
really sad.
oh,
I just
okay.
totally bummed myself out.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
All right, jokes.
That's a good point. The fact that the mugger was a friend of Bender's, not surprising at all.
No, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
But then when he
Yeah,
feels all
dang.
left out, I mean, like that was again coming back to those sort of Bender isms where he's like he gets sad when he doesn't get to be the center of attention or part of the gang, even though
Yeah.
he theoretically doesn't have emotions.
No, he has emotions. I mean,
Yeah.
he's pretty emotional.
I know, but they've done whole plot lines before where it was about him not being emotional, and yet he was.
But then he learned.
Then he had those costumes all ready to go in his
I
chest
do have
cavity.
3 costumes. I guess you could just throw one of them away.
I like the Bender. Aren't you more on the supply side of crime?
Yeah, it was great. But like, so the whole action justice, the new Justice Team theme song.
The new
So good.
Justice Team.
You can tell they were getting
Awesome.
lazier and lazier as they were writing it. Like the third verse is just like,
Go, go, go. Team,
Leela,
team. The
just-
new Justice Team.
I think that was done on purpose.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
I mean, like it was basically a throwback to the '60s Spider-Man theme
Yes.
song,
Oh yeah, for
which
sure.
the Ramones covered so well in the late '90s. Just Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Speedeman.
He was this Jewish guy, Spider-Man.
Irvin Spider-Man.
Pete Speedeman.
Get your ugly face pounded in, pounded to custard.
I also made a note of that.
That's such a good line.
I felt like there was a lot of Slurm ads in this episode.
There was a lot of Slurm. I wrote down Slurm.
So it was kind of all over the place. That's something we haven't called out very often, but I think it's because it hasn't been really as present as it was in this particular episode.
Are they amping up the Slurm for something?
I don't know. Tom, is that the case?
Mm.
Just
No,
trying
we
to
had
fill
our
up stuff
Slurm episode.
like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
They're just getting around to it though.
I mean, he drinks it all the time.
So Captain Yesterday, Clobberella,
Barbarella,
and Super King.
Super King.
But the thing I couldn't figure out, and this kind of occurred to me later in the episode, was Bender has demonstrated previously that he has a switch inside his chest cavity that he can turn on his royalty voice, and he didn't use that.
They have secret identities. They don't want anyone to know who it
Right.
is.
So why wouldn't he want to talk like someone else with his king voice?
Maybe he's just too lazy
That's possible.
or drunk.
Because Fry's whole outfit. I mean, interestingly, like he goes back to the 70s to be Captain Yesterday with his
Yes.
disco outfit.
Which,
Because
like,
he was an 80s kid. So
Yeah.
the 70s would have been the yesterday.
Well, I think we established at some point that Fry and I are basically the same age.
Yeah, he's born in the 70s, but I don't remember a whole lot before I was, 20, 21.
and not a whole lot after.
And then I've been told stories about what happened after. Sound really fun.
I wish
Wish
I was
I
there.
wish I'd been there.
Uh,
Pack of Highly. Got it.
Your skin tight high waters are really sexy. That was just such a beautiful line with the groupies. But then the other thing that made me laugh a lot was that Leela's like logo that looked like
Yes.
the Soviet sickle was
It was
just an
it was an arm with a rolling pin.
It was
So good.
Yeah. Arm and rolling pin.
I mean, just that's like
Armin
such a
Roland pin?
Armand. Rolling pin.
Was she specifically modeled after some other character? Was that just like a?
I don't know. It's just a sexy superhero outfit, I guess.
Barbarella.
Yeah.
I
Was
mean,
there someone in
Barbarella.
Glow that was wasn't there someone in Glow that was supposed to be from that TV show that I just watched?
Yes.
Wasn't she supposed to be Russian or something?
Yeah, that was
Zoya the Destroyer.
yeah.
Zora. So that doesn't sound like Barbarella. Never mind.
No,
No, I
but
don't
it was, Allison Brie.
Yes.
Annie from Cult Community, or shit.
Who's married to James Franco's brother, Dave Franco.
Yeah,
Really?
really?
Did not know that.
Ew.
Do you think the Francos are wrongly maligned?
She was in Mad Men too.
Yes, she was
Yes.
Trudy,
Trudy.
married to Peter, whose
Mm.
last name I cannot for the fucking life of me remember right.
Campbell.
That's it. Good.
Pete
Thank
Campbell.
you. I've had a serious issue over the last few days of like remembering last names, and it's starting to bother me. So thank you very much, Michelle, because that was going to eat at me. I know I can tell you it's Vincent Kartheiser, and when he's not dressed as Pete Campbell, he's got like a giant crazy hippie beard and looks like he lives in like a tiny house.
He was a child star, right? What was he
Really?
a child star in? What did he?
I don't know. It might have been something that was like past. I had aged out of it beforehand, but that's entirely possible. Did you enjoy Glow, John?
I only saw the last like 2/3 of it, so not like I was lost or anything, but it was entertaining. I still want to go back and watch the beginning of it, but yeah, it was entertaining.
Huh?
I love
I
Mark
haven't watched
Maron.
it yet.
Why? Why did you start it halfway through? That seems kind of silly.
I was drunk. No, no. I went over to Dan's, and he had already started, and I just like flopped onto the couch. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. Cool.
Was this before or after his unfortunate accident? Because you probably could have overpowered him really easily if it was after.
But he might have cried.
Well,
That would have been weird.
it was good. He could just been like, watch it again. Just you'll be fine. Watch it again, Dan.
Yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah.
I was already
Keep it
on
in
the
your back
couch.
pocket. That's a move that
I was already laying on the couch though.
I've watched several TV shows like halfway through because that's what happened. I just was somewhere
Just where
and
you
then
caught
like
into it. Yeah.
yeah.
I missed all of Lost season 2
I wouldn't
because
say
I was
you were
watching
missing
it. I was watching it with friends from the beginning to the end over the course of several months, and they watched season 2 without me, and then I didn't want to go back and watch it.
Doesn't
Oh, I
really
thought-
sound like
Kinda-
friends.
Yeah, when you said you were watching it with friends, I thought you had like two TVs set up next to
Oh,
each
no.
other where there's friends
Like,
on
actually
just thought
one
with
Joey
them
and
at
and
their
Chandler
Lost
house.
on
were
the
there.
other. How do you think? Do you think that? Oh, that might be something to try out. You're an artist, John. So here's a conceptual
Aw.
piece. What if you set up? You took an episode of Lost and then took an episode of Friends and then like swapped the audio.
Oh, that would be disturbing. Also,
Wouldn't it?
Lost was an hour long, and Friends is only
So
half
two.
an hour.
Okay, so
Okay,
two
there we go.
episodes of
Well, that was a quick
Friends.
fix.
Yeah.
That would be pretty creepy, probably.
Yeah. What if you did it
Either
the other?
one.
What if you did it the other way around?
Both ways would be really scary. I
Yeah,
think.
and then twice as much content. And just spitballing.
It's all about content.
What if I switch the audio from this podcast with the audio from the Nerdist?
I think
Sounds
that
like a hit.
okay. You know how like on YouTube there's people that'll like post links to other people's shit as like an affiliate program thing, or they'll just like or they'll say it's one thing and then you get there and it's a link to another thing. Do you know what I'm talking
I've
about?
never
Like,
been on the internet before.
okay. So like you do a search for like live video from some concert, and it'll be like I've got live videos from concert because they have like the tags that kind of replace your search terms into what you're looking for, and then you get there and it's like it's basically like a commercial for a pay service to get some other
Yeah.
bullshit. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So like
That's usually when I'm trying to download something that isn't necessarily legally
Legal.
available.
like
Oh, that attitude.
like licenses to
I don't
kill.
actually do that anymore.
I don't do that.
I mean what I was getting at is like I mean, number one, do you think someone has taken someone else's podcast and relinked to it and just like, but then how would that even work? Because most of it's free anyway.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I'm sorry. I this is a real wandering.
Is this the
episode.
podcast question with the
This is back
if
to
you
the
replaced-
Friends. This is back to the Friends and the Lost like switcheroo.
But with the podcast.
So,
But if
like,
you did
if-
that with a podcast,
You can watch movies on YouTube and you pay like $2.99. Like you pay Google $2.99 and you can watch legitimately. You can watch a movie. So if you search for whatever movie you want to watch on YouTube, sometimes
Silver
you'll,
Linings Playbook.
Why wouldn't you just steal
you'll
it
stumble
though?
upon. Well, that's the thing. Or if you're trying to steal it and you're searching for it on YouTube or you're looking for clips and it'll say something like, whatever movie, full 1080p HD.
Oh, like in the comments stuff? I
Mhm.
just assumed that was like gibberish.
but then like if you click on the video to watch it, it's really like some chick. It'll show like the little thumbnail will be of the movie, but when you click on it, it's some chick who is like, go to www.we'regonnestealyourinfo.com.
I thought it was going to get way more exciting than that.
It's a domain that ends in .ru.
Watch full
Oh.
episodes of popular television
I thought
programs.
she was going to be naked.
No, she's wearing.
No, it's not nearly as fun as that.
This is why I don't go on the internet.
You should. There's lots of interesting things on there, like monkey videos.
But there's no naked chicks on the internet whatsoever.
Someone should get on that.
They do go to visit Mayor Poopenmeyer to get.
I don't know.
License to kill.
I ain't never heard of no mayor
I
before.
never heard of no mayor.
that was
Oh.
such a good line.
That security guard.
And just when he goes to summon the action team or the new justice team with the clown
The
painting,
clown.
and then Bender's antenna goes off. But he's like, "No, there's 3 of you and 3 of them. It'll be perfect."
Great.
Their excuses are so bad for why they have to
Oh,
leave.
I
Fries
forgot.
is the
I left,
best.
I
Fries
forgot.
is
I left
great.
my apartment on fire.
I'm
and
late
I've
for my
had enough
LSATs.
of all of this living.
But then to just
So
jump
wait,
out
also,
and smash back in.
Does that
right
mean
away.
he had the cream on him, or was he already high? I mean, super powered.
He must have had. I mean, so
Because he jumped
maybe
out.
the reason that the cream lasted so long is it had like a 12-hour lifespan or something, or like the effects were active for X amount of time, so they didn't have to apply it. Like
Because when it wears off, it just wears off. It looked like.
yeah, apparently.
Like,
Yeah,
they
they
just
didn't
fell
even
off the
realize
building.
that. Yeah, it was wearing off.
Luckily, there was a dumpster underneath them. That would have been tragic.
The zookeeper was he seemed like a really dastardly villain.
From Batman.
Was he?
No, he looks like he
No.
would be.
Yeah, like from
like
Adam West.
From
Oh,
Adam
yeah,
West
yeah,
Batman
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I loved that show when I was younger. Like,
Pow.
it was.
I don't want to bum you out, Tom, but Adam West is dead.
Still?
No.
Aw.
Don't worry, you'll forget about it in a couple of minutes like I did. It just happens. It was overly campy.
Yeah, the elephant that never forgets.
To kill.
And then Citizen Snips is obviously the best character.
What
in the
was
whole
his
show.
actual name?
I didn't
down.
I didn't write it down because his
Citizen Snips is like one of the best characters.
Yeah.
I was expecting like a giant crab too, and then when he appears, he like
Reason-
falls inside Teddy Roosevelt's head jar. Like that was the best part. Is
'Cause
he's
he's just
tiny.
this little guy.
Yeah, he's deadly though. The museum reminded me, and this is just whatever, but it reminded me of the British Museum. Have any of you ever been there?
No.
Okay, it looked like that. Museums all kind of look the same, but there's something about that particular museum. I think in that it was like very well lit.
Do you think it was supposed to be that one you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know. Or if they just, sent notes to Korea, draw a museum, and they're like, okay, and they start, scribbling out it was just an observation. We've, aside from rambling side conversations, observations are some of the things I bring to this show.
So with that giant Gemerald, why was there a grate right next to it that went up into it, like for the snake? fingers? Why was that? So
You know-
we should probably put a grate in next to it that
Well, like-
leads directly to where the Gemerald sits.
The sewers and whatnot.
You saw Rogue One, right?
Oh, that's true.
And here is a reference that I did not understand. I wrote that down and I did not bother to look it up. When Bender is saying like, well, how are you going to make that work? You're meeting your parents at 9 or the
Yeah.
heist is at 9. You're meeting your parents at 10. And he says 9. 10, big fat hen. The name's Bender or something like that. Like I did not
I
get
didn't catch that either.
Yeah,
What is
I
it?
don't know what that means.
Just
I don't
No
know, but
idea.
it's one of my favorite
I
lines.
just thought it was, yeah, I was just saying, I just thought it was really funny.
Because he goes, not a problem. I've clearly arranged to meet my parents right at the same museum at 10. Then he's just like 9, 10, a big fat hen. It's just the rhyme, it's 1, 2,
But I don't
whatever.
get, like
Pick up a shoe.
think he just
3,
wanted to
4.
talk.
Yeah. Just
Oh.
tell people that he's not done talking. It's the whole thing where like, well, the snake's name was Fingers too.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was
But
If
pretty
I
then-
good.
ever get a snake, I'm naming it Fingers.
And the badger
Fuller
was in the
shooter.
kangaroo pouch, which was
Yeah.
also like that whole heist thing was so crazy.
Kangaroo pouches creep me out.
They should.
They super creep me
They're
out.
basically like external uteruses. Is that the uteri?
Uteri.
Yeah.
They're just a mucousy pocket for a baby
Mucousy
kangaroo to
pocket
lay
sounds
in.
like something that happens when you have a cold or something.
But there's also nipples inside them for feeding.
Oh wait, I'm back in. All right.
Well, I mean, like
It's a
that.
marsupial thing.
What the fuck is wrong with Australia as a landmass where all of the marsupials in the world developed on that particular chunk of rock?
That's not true.
All?
Almost, it's got to be close. Maybe there's
Possums.
some
No,
in
that
like
can't be true.
Zanzibar. or
Possums
something.
are marsupials, right?
Yeah, there's what about platypi?
Plata.
Are possums marsupials?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
As
sure.
sure as I can be without knowing for sure.
I don't know.
Wait.
Oh God, I gotta.
I went to high school with a kid named Morris Sapilo.
Name-
Do you think he knows?
Morris Sapilo.
Can you text him and see if he knows if marsupial or if
What do you know about marsupials? Marsupial.
hey, are
I can't say
possums
that
one of
again.
you?
Marsupial.
Are possums one of you? Oh.
Marsupial.
I'm almost there. Come on. Oh shit!
Oh
Are
shit.
possums marsupials?
I already got it. Yes, they are.
Are possums marsupials?
So okay, that's yeah. But you're right, John. A mucousy pocket to hang out in.
They're weird. That's a weird concept.
Yeah.
I don't think I would enjoy it.
Let me rephrase. Not all of the ones are in Australia, but there's a lot of marsupials in Australia.
Yeah.
More than there need to be.
A lot.
Yeah.
There's also more spiders and snakes and
Gators.
just
Shacks,
things in general.
Sharks.
dingoes, the whole thing.
There's a Sheila over there.
Oh,
Dingo
this-
baby.
We're going to alienate a lot of people in the next 30 seconds or so.
I use the Australian Siri voice, so just so everybody knows, she's much more pleasant than American Siri, or at least the old American Siri. I guess the new one is nice.
I think mine's a British lady.
Who's your favorite Australian?
If you say anything but Steve Irwin, you're all dead to me.
I'm going to say Jacko.
I was gonna say Nicole Kidman. She's Australian.
She
right?
is.
She is. Yeah.
Good
I'm
choice.
gonna go
I
with
think
that
I
one.
think Steve Irwin's
I don't really
from New
care
Zealand.
about
Name
anyone
an
from Australia. No, I'm just kidding.
Australian. This is the portion of the podcast where we name Australians, and I think we're out of Australians that we
Heath
can name.
Ledger. Mel Gibson,
Hey, there's more.
Did
Tom
you say
Hardy.
Sheila already?
Shayla, Joey.
From Friends?
I always thought he had a weird accent.
No,
Crocodile Dundee.
How are you doing?
my favorite.
Paul Hogan?
My favorite
I don't think
Australian.
is Paul Hogan actually from
Yeah.
Australia?
Yeah. he is.
Hogan sounds like he would. I don't know.
My favorite Australian was Jacko, who was like I think a former soccer player who wound up doing Energizer commercials in the 80s in like an Energizer unitard. He had like a blonde Brian
Oh, I
Bosworth
remember that
hair,
guy.
and he'd just like oi, and he'd like just throw the batteries at his face.
That's your favorite Australian guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
party with that dude for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Chuck batteries.
He showed up in a couple TV shows here and there. Just as he was basically like an Australian Mr. T.
So he's like a mixture of Mr. T and the ShamWow guy, kind of.
Absolutely, that's a perfect analogy.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
Man, I
John.
miss
That's
the
why we've had you
80s.
on this show 3 times in a year. And
I
a half.
miss the 80s.
The
No, I don't.
the whole thing about
Also, those animals that were in the displays, were those actual, like, just stuffed animals that he made come to life? Or was that all staged that he put animals and replaced the...
I don't know, but that's a good question.
I think there were animals there, and because he's the zookeeper, he can control animals. I don't think it was staged. I think he just can.
But that
like-
actually
I think he can bend their will.
at the
But so they were
Yes.
live animals at the Natural History Museum
at the
inside?
American
That's
Natural
natural.
History Museum in New York.
There
There
are
is a
animals
big
at the-
rotunda, but they're all fake stuffed animals.
Oh, they're real animals at the Cleveland Natural History
Yeah,
Museum.
outside.
But not inside though.
Not inside.
Yeah, but
They're the stuffed ones inside.
this is the year 3001 in New York. Maybe they have
Ooh.
different.
Morays,
Yeah.
I mean, Teddy Roosevelt is actually
No.
there
just his head.
collecting donations.
This is the part where we got to where I was wondering why Bender didn't use his king switch when he was Super King. It just seemed too obvious. And for all the other stuff they've done where it's like, here's Bender's brick hole on the bottom of his case, and you'd think when he was pretending to be Super King as his superhero, the best one, he would have like flipped his switch and changed his voice.
Yeah. He was Super King. He wasn't an actual king. He was Super King.
That's a good point. Maybe his
Can't
last
argue
name
with
was
that
just
logic.
King. His
I-
first name was Super.
Well, I used to go to school with kids whose last name was King. That would be
His
awesome if
first
they
name's
named their
Super.
kids Super. That would be fantastic. No, their names were fine names, but they weren't very imaginative. Not like that.
That's disappointing.
Have any of you ever tried to name a kid?
Yeah, they didn't like it.
What was the name you tried to give it?
Oh, I don't know. They just ran away screaming. Oh, the actual name? I don't know what their actual name was. It wasn't my kid.
Oh, you just
It's like, hey, kid, I'm going to call you. And then there's ran away screaming.
like stranger danger.
Like, no,
and
come
split.
back.
It's before or after you shaved your beard off.
Before.
Oh, okay.
Long hair.
Yeah.
I've
That's
named
creepy.
animals.
I've named many animals.
It's not the same. You can give an animal a stupid name, and people will actually praise you for it if it's clever enough. Like naming
Sam
a snake
Handwich?
Fingers. What did you have named Sam Handwich?
That's my Instagram name now. I just renamed myself because I don't have kids.
Well, that you can do that on the internet for sure. The only reason I brought it up is because it's difficult. You know, it's really like there's so much baggage to it,
Yeah.
and you have to be really critical. I think we did an okay job, but it's still, you never know. It just makes me think of that Nicolas Cage Saturday Night Live sketch where his name was Asweepe.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very rambly tonight. I'm making Tom's job a lot harder, or making myself just look.
Did we talk
infinitely
about the
worse.
episode at all?
A little bit,
Okay.
because this is the part where the zookeeper captures Leela's parents, and he is threatening them with walking piranhas.
Oh, yeah. Those
Well,
things are pretty
because
cool looking.
We skipped over the whole part where Leela goes to apologize for blowing off her parents, and she goes down to the sewers, and
Oh, and Leg Mutant shows
Leg
up again.
Mutant, you're pulling me. Yeah, so she tells Morrison Munda that she's Clobberella, and she rips off her clothes to reveal her uniform, and
She
Munda
rips
says,
her uniform off to reveal her clothes again.
"Yeah,
Yeah,
did you have to make it so revealing?"
that was a good impression. I was wondering about that. I mean, the part about printing T-shirts and F shirts.
Oh, yeah. For
our friends
There's
with
the
two arms
on one side.
I think about anytime like anybody brings up like, oh, we should make T-shirts about that, blah blah blah. I always think and we should make
F-shirts.
F-shirts for our friends with arms on the same side.
Can we get some F shirts to our T Public store?
That would be. Oh my god.
Do people
Can
get it
we
when
do
you make
that?
a joke? Only cool people, probably.
Probably only cool
All right, cool.
people.
Yeah, cool people.
I don't
that,
get it.
Cool people that watch a 20-year-old cartoon that got canceled twice, and now other people are making podcasts about.
Yeah.
And
That
videos.
Yeah, or somehow
Normal.
constantly in the news recently though.
money. It's all about money.
I know.
Gene and Chuck.
Something we're not making at all doing this.
We haven't paid in. You have to pay in. You got to spend
Wait, I'm
money
not
to
getting
make
paid
money.
for this?
You got that Bud Light.
At what point? Oh, okay. That's fair.
There's a-
At what point after like
Fair.
5 guest appearances, is that when the money kicks in? The
Sure, John.
royalties?
Sure.
when you're a 6-peat guest.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Your 5th appearance is just me editing together each other time you're there, and it acts like you're actually here.
I would do it.
Were the walking piranhas? Wasn't that a
It was similar to Wormstrom's
Wormstrom's walking fish?
Yeah, and the big piece of garbage episode. Yeah.
That's
Without the actual like scuba suit.
Yeah, I was
on.
gonna say,
Right.
but they had the rebreather type of thing with the water system.
maybe
where
it's
these
a
guys
new
were just
version.
like
land piranhas.
But-
They just had
teeth.
legs,
Yeah,
like mechanical legs.
but they were still dangerous. This is actually the point where the miracle cream is out of itself. You think they would have noticed?
They're getting low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not good drug addicts. I mean, superheroes.
I mean, and you'd think they even would have like tried to track down Dr. Flim Flam.
I feel like he'd be a pretty hard guy to find.
It's only $60 for a
Yeah, he-
tube. That's totally worth superpowers. Come on.
He just shows up in a covered wagon in a town and
Maybe you just have to like
swindles
scream his
people.
name or something.
Well, they had super speediness. They could have like run all over looking for him.
Well, to be honest, it says on the actual package in alien language that it says, keep out of reach of children under the age of 500. For best results, sacrifice a small mammal, then apply evenly to interior of eyeball. Would you like to sell Dr. Flim Flam products? Contact a representative at a covered wagon near you.
That's great.
Yeah, that's so good.
Okay, I have a question. How do you put it inside of your eyeball? Was that be inside the eyelid? Or
Evenly
like,
to the interior of eyeball.
so that would be inside the
Inside
ball?
of the
So you
ball.
probably have
guess
to
so.
inject it, or you could just, I don't know.
I mean, they
Clearly weren't following the instructions.
if they would have done it correctly, they would have
would've been able to
lasted a
control
lot.
Zoidberg.
Yeah.
That and maybe it would have lasted a lot longer. Maybe you only need a little bit on the inside of your eyeball.
Yeah, I feel like you probably would need less if you're putting it directly on like a mucousy surface like that.
Like if you were in your
You probably
marsupial
get
pouch.
straight into your.
What if you rubbed it inside the kangaroo's pouch? Would it become a
wouldn't-
super kangaroo?
No, it wouldn't because it only may cause superpowers in
Yeah.
humans.
What if it
Yep.
wasn't
Yep.
animal tested?
Yep.
Well, it kind of was because Zoidberg used it.
Zoidberg's not an animal though. He's a
I know.
dodecapodian. I don't know. Look, the cartoon logic in this thing's starting to break down, and I'm trying not to dwell on it. But I would have hoped they would have, had a little bit of foresight.
Nah.
Then we get another appearance from Bubblegum Tate. I didn't realize he became such a ubiquitous presence, even if it's just for like dropping in a line here and there.
Who?
Bubblegum.
Bubblegum Tate from the Harlem Globetrotters.
He's always around.
But it's just for like a line. But he's like this is like his 5th appearance since he showed up in time.
Is that Hermes'
This is
voice
something-
or is that someone else?
It's Phil Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hermes.
Who else? Yeah, same guy.
Samurai Jack.
Yeah. Yes.
7-Up guy.
No, that's Orlando Jones.
I know. They were both on Mad
I
TV.
know.
Yeah.
This is true.
Phil Lamar, the poor man's Orlando Jones.
Aw.
Boo.
I don't know. I just like referring to celebrities as the poor man's other celebrity.
Who's the poor man's Nicole Kidman?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Who's the poor man's
Renee Zellweger.
Good answer.
Mm.
Who's the poor man's Paul Hogan?
Are you trying to get us to say Steve Irwin?
No, I'm genuinely. It's a new game.
I don't
Who's
know.
who's the poor man's Australian celebrity?
What is a marsupial?
Yeah, that's I'm looking at the rest of the notes I have for this episode, and none of them make sense anymore.
Kind of.
I guess it just kind of
fades out at that
anticlimax.
point,
Like
yeah.
This episode fizzles out.
they get her parents back unharmed, but the zookeeper gets away with the Gemerald. Bender
And
takes
Citizens
Friday
Snips.
to see more stuff.
The part when he has the Gemerald and he's like, gives the bird go get it and Fry's like, that seemed
seems
That seemed
unnecessary.
unnecessary.
Oh, when he called them Super Zeros, he goes, "That was uncalled for." Like, super
So
sad.
sad.
Oh, Super Zeros.
And then the nice bait and switch at the very end with the extra theme song and action scenes from the new Justice team.
Yeah, and I like when
The
Bender's
new
chest
Justice
cavity
team.
opens and closes. Plus, I got this going. Oh, that was
He
great.
doesn't say it's magical though. He should have.
And something about the lyrics, they say just about Clobberella and Super King, and then the rest.
And the rest, they show Fry. Oh,
Well, that's directly lifted from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, right.
because it's the professor. They just
And
leave out the
Marianne,
professor.
and Marianne.
Is it
hold on,
yeah.
let's sing it.
Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the
movie
movie star, and
Professor-
all the rest.
Yeah,
No, I thought it was
Yeah,
Professor
so it's
and
Marianne and the professor.
it's the original. They
They
had,
add them
they
to
they
it,
did original.
Did they add them to it later?
Yeah,
the Professor and Marianne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They would have to have negotiated that into their
I'm sure
They
they
contract
probably
at
got
that
raises
point.
at the same time.
They went from like
They're like, "Look, you said this was 3 hours. This is
Yeah.
bullshit.
I've been
I need
stuck
more
on
money."
this fucking island with nothing
my
to
name
eat
in the
but
song.
coconuts. I can make radios out of the coconuts. I bring a lot here. It's a lot of value add. I don't know what Marianne does. She makes Ginger work harder, I guess.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Was it?
What do you mean? Was it? Yeah.
Was it? I mean, was it a good show, or is it a good show to remember, not having to now watch
it
it?
was on for a while,
I
so
mean,
therefore it was.
I don't
a
think
good
it.
show.
Yeah, but there was
It was in
not a lot of
reruns
choices. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like
when we were young.
there were only 120 episodes of the Brady Bunch. Like that's really.
Wow.
Seems like
not-
a lot of episodes.
Well, 100 episodes is like the key to syndication, basically. So if you can hit 100 episodes, that's where you can get the syndication deal and be shown after school and
Oh, they hit 98.
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, plus
Yeah,
a
but then-
1963 pilot that was the first to
99.
broadcast in 1992.
And then the movie.
And then they meet the
Yeah.
Munsters or something. Wasn't there a Munsters?
And
on
the New
Gilligan's Isle or
Adventures of
something?
Gilligan.
I mean,
This
basically,
is just him mailing people pot in the mail.
everybody who is Gilligan dead?
No, I don't think so.
I think he is. Since we've been talking about so many dead celebrities today.
I can tell
but-
you right now. Yes, he did.
Okay, good.
2005.
Oh, Bob
I
Denver.
don't remember
Mm.
2005.
Bob Denver, we hardly
That
knew
was a
yet.
rough year.
Everybody who stopped on Gilligan's Island and then didn't tell like the Coast Guard, we found this island with a bunch of casters.
Maybe they
on it.
did, and the Coast
It's like
Guard
real
Guard was just
Yeah,
dicks.
fuck them.
Maybe the Coast Guard was just like, yeah, we don't like them. We're gonna leave them there.
Yeah, we know. We've been watching them.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Did you see what they made with those coconuts?
Something happened. I think we got a crossover of a Gilligan's Island podcast that started coming through on the Slurmcast
Yeah,
here.
somebody turn the coconut radio dial.
I feel like it's because this episode didn't really have a good resolution at
There
all.
was,
So
yeah, it just kind of.
I really enjoyed it
The
though.
end.
it was really good.
was a
I
fun
was super
episode.
stoked when Tom
Yeah.
asked me about this one
Because
just because
it's-
of Citizen Snips and the drug cream.
It's just I think because it's so silly and it really doesn't play into the canon very much at all, other than Leela and her parents.
I mean, how
developing
much
their
did the
relationship.
Batman, the TV show, like how much did that? Everything at the end of the episode was just like, all right, and then next week more stuff's gonna happen. Like nobody cared.
Bam! Pow!
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing that I put in my notes and I couldn't decipher them. The like blammo title cards during the first action scene with the zookeeper, where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
yak because he's punching yak, but then when Bender
Benders
does the
were-
Super King and it's all in binary,
Yeah. What did it say? Do we know what it said in binary? Probably
It's,
said
it's
like
on Infosphere.
it would have just been a
I looked
number.
it up. It was the letter J.
Jay.
That works.
Yeah.
I mean, that letter stands for a lot of things by itself.
The old flying J.
The
J for justice.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe that's what it
Hey.
is.
Oh, I was just thinking joint.
Well, there's that too.
Shows where my brain is.
Well, I didn't want to say it out loud, John, but here we are.
Well, pod.
Any closing thoughts, anybody?
Citizen Snip's real name was Lucky.
Lucky. Yeah, that makes sense.
Seldom used crab. He was a seldom used crab.
Does he show up later?
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I
think
can't
so.
say I remember seeing him ever since.
I wonder if he'll show up in Worlds of Tomorrow.
I was just thinking that.
That'd be good. Have you been playing the video game, John?
No, I started and then I realized I hate video games.
Fair enough.
I'm just bad at video games.
It took me a little bit to figure out how to not be a dummy with it.
Is it one of those ones you have to like check back in an hour? Kind
Yeah,
of thing?
it's totally
I don't-
Tamagotchi.
I once I stop playing, I forget that I have it. I was like, wasn't I doing something? No.
It's just you're in that state of Buddhist enlightenment. If it's not just present, then there is
It's
no
like
past.
Same
there's no
thing with
future.
texting friends back. I have no idea. Did I text? Yeah.
Time is a flat circle, man. You know.
It's just all happening all over the place at the same time, really.
Well, I guess that means thanks for coming on the show.
It was
again,
fun.
John. It's always great to have you.
This
over.
was a good episode, though, for real.
It was fun. We rambled a lot. Got into some weird places, which is good because
And sometimes bad.
Tom will take care of that. I hope.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on the internet, or is there any? I mean, we were talking about some activity you have with one of your bands right now.
Sam Handwich on Instagram.
On Instagram, Sam Handwich. Is that HANDWICH?
Indeed, it is.
Okay.
Sam Handwich.
Sam Handwich.
Any underscores? Any weird spellings on Sam?
You know, I'm not even sure what the actual handle is. That's just the name on there.
Okay.
Probably John K, John Kalman.
Sure.
No, I got a whole lot of nothing going on right now personally as far as art and music stuff goes. I mean,
Fits of Hail.
yes. I don't really know what we're doing. We're putting another 7-inch out in the next.
You got a number of shows coming up. I don't know where they fall in relation to this release date, but where can people find that? Because that's not just you. That's
No,
you.
look for Fits of Hail on Facebook. It is Chris Anderson's project, basically.
Yeah.
He writes really cool songs, and he lets us play with them.
And he's a super awesome guy.
And he
Very
sings show
sweet.
tunes like constantly, which
Yeah.
is great.
I had the privilege of doing a lottery league band with him, and I love the guy.
He's a good
awesome.
one. Oh, Problemo.
Who is
Man.
it?
Yeah,
Who's
Chris Anderson.
Okay.
Also, Mike Riley,
Mike Riley,
Cleveland rock and roll legend.
sound man extraordinaire.
Yeah,
And then Alan Grandy as well,
that's
who was
all.
in Jehovah's Waitresses.
See, that's a deep bench.
Yeah, they talk about things, and I have no idea what they're talking about, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good thing. You're
Like what?
I don't know
Oh.
because I don't
String
understand
theory?
It's like they might be speaking another language. No idea.
Mm.
No, just about like band stuff. Like
wait. The words don't all end in the sound A, do they?
Probably.
It might just be Pig Latin.
Oh yeah, I should bring a pig. See if they can translate.
Pig.
Hey, what is he saying? You dumbass. You dummy. How do you now know what they're saying? Can you not fucking hear this?
Oh, and that's why we love having you on the show, John.
Yes, thank you, John.
Oh, we can be reached at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. You can find all our episodes and links to our TeePublic shop, our other social media accounts at slurmcast.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at slurmcastpod. We can be phoned, texted, multimedia messaged at 216-438-1077. Is that the right number? I forgot it.
Yeah, I
I've
gotta
just-
call. I haven't called in a while.
You have not called
I
in a
feel
while.
really bad about
Yeah.
that. See, that guy was saying, I forgot that it was a thing.
And
Not a
the-
lot. No one has called at all.
We did have
recently.
somebody text like a week ago And
Was
I
it me?
responded.
Oh, okay.
No.
They're very nice.
Yeah, it was great.
4,
We're talking
3,
about
8.
mutants breeding.
Yes.
So if that was you, thank you.
You're supposed to tell us who you are and where you're from when you text us so that
Yeah.
we know.
Can you not text
I don't
back?
think this person.
No, we
yeah,
can
you-
text
back. Oh,
I
that's
did,
cool.
yeah.
If we have the computer on and the Google site open, it'll ring your computer ring like a phone, and it's creepy as
Ew,
hell.
weird. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I went to T Public Shop, rate and review on iTunes. Am I missing anything? I feel like a deer in the headlights all of a
The
sudden. I
F
don't
Public
know why.
Shop that we're gonna eventually
Is there
open.
a
Yeah.
gas?
for-
Is there a gas leak in your house? Because I think we're all going a little
There-
loopy
yeah,
today.
you know what? The evaporator coil on my air conditioner is leaking Freon. Maybe we're all gonna die.
Uh-oh.
Freon sounds like it'd be fun. Freon, like it's you get all free. It's probably not. It's probably
Listen to
not in your
Freedom
house.
Rock.
Freon.
Turn it up.
Oh God. We eventually got there. Thanks for coming on, John.
Freon.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.